We were discussing about traveling during Mah Mubarak Ramadan. It must be clear now that according to Ayatollah Al-Khoy, the order for a large city, a big city, and a small one is the same as far as Qasr or Safar is concerned. A city as big as London, or Tehran, or Karachi, or Bombay, has the same order as any small town as far as Safar is concerned, and therefore those who work within London, as long as they are within London, it may be even traveling and commuting up to 25 or 28 or 29, 30 miles, as long as they are within London, according to Ayatollah Al-Khoy, they are not travelers. So therefore many mu'mineen have asked that early in the morning as they rise, they have got to go for work, say about 20 miles away, but within London. If it is within London, then of course they are not musafir, they are not travelers, they will fast and there will be no namaz qasr for them, according to Ayatollah Al-Khoy. Those who in taqleed of Ayatollah Khomeini, rahmatullah alayh, if they are still in continuous taqleed of him, must refer to his risala, because he had given a fatwa that Safar will begin from home when the distance is more than 14 miles one way, even within the city, provided the city is big. But as far as Ayatollah Khomeini is concerned, the city, big or small, is no difference. Those salesmen who have to travel out of London, if it is as frequent as daily, then they are not travelers, they will fast. But those who go once a week, or sometimes twice in a fortnight, or twice in a month, or maybe even more, 4 or 5 times in a month, they will break the fast if they go beyond the Hadd Tarakhus, and if they don't live there for 10 days or more, and if they leave London, the hometown, whatever which your town be, before Dhuhr. After Dhuhr there is no question. Those students who live here, they are not living in a watan. They must remember this. Students who come from abroad to study, say in London, in Sheffield, or Suffolk, or New York, or anywhere they go. They are there, although they may live there for 1 year, 2 years, even 5 years for study, but they are not mutawattin, they are not in watan. They must remember this. So what will happen? As long as they are there studying and living, of course, they are praying full. But if they are traveling, say, to a place and come back temporarily for a day or two and then traveling again, if they are not at any given time staying in that place for more than 10 days or 10 days, they will pray qasr and they will not fast, because they are not mutawattin. They should remember this. Watan you can have more than one, provided you make a niyyah that this is my watan. But the boy or the girl has come to study, it is not a watan. Watan you can have as many as you want, but if it is not a watan, watan has got a condition where man must have got his properties and must have lived for at least 6 months on end and must have made a niyyah to live there. But coming to London to study for 5 years, 8 years, even 10 years, if he goes from London to Birmingham, from Birmingham he comes to London for 2 days and goes to Peterborough, for those 2 days in London he will pray qasr, and if he is in Ramadan he will not fast. Therefore, you must be very careful that watan is the criteria. The mas'ala which was also very important was about remaining in janabat up to morning. If anyone purposely remains in janabat without doing ghusl till subh sadiq, I said this, his roza will be batil. Please let us be careful about it. Anyone who has got janabat ghusl wajib at night has got to be careful that he does his ghusl, her ghusl, before subh sadiq, that is before fajr. And if there is a lady in her period who is becoming clean, then that night she will have to perform her ghusl hayd before fajr. Now there are 2 things I would like to clarify tonight, the rest inshallah later. One, suppose a lady who intended to have ghusl before fajr, woke up right at the time when there is only 2 minutes or 3 minutes left for Fajr. Now, she cannot go for ghusl. If she goes for ghusl, the time of Fajr will enter. For such a lady who knows for certain that there is no time left now for ghusl, she did not do it purposely, she slept. Sleeping is allowed. She had an intention that she will do ghusl, but she overslept. And as she woke up, she sees the time is about 5 minutes, she cannot take her ghusl. For such a lady, it is wajib to do tayammum badle ghusl. Tayammum in place of ghusl. And having done that, her roza will be sahih and she will pray. Of course, afterwards, in the daytime, anytime, she will do her ghusl before next namaz. And tayammum is a simple procedure which I believe is wajib for me to explain. According to Ayatullah Al-Khoury, you don't need anything but sand, dust or stone. These are in priorities, but sand is first priority. And sand is available in England. You can have them from seashores. It is available. That is the first thing. Sand, and we must keep it at home the way we watch our water tape. There must be at least one small bag containing sand. God knows when we may need tayammum. Tayammum on sofa set, tayammum on cushions, tayammum on carpet is not permissible, as many people believe that dust particle is enough. According to Ayatullah Al-Khoury, it is not enough. It is the last thing. If nothing is available, then sofa sets or dust particles accumulated on carpets can be used. Otherwise, there must be sand or dust. It must be dry, not wet, no mud. And once having spread, it is wajib to strike. To strike is wajib. Not only to touch, to strike. With a niyat first, that I am doing it in lieu of, say, ghusl hayd or janabat or whatever. Qurbatan ilallahi ta'ala, and strike. After having struck, then you dust off. And then with this palm, part of the palm, the end of the palm, you begin from where the hair grows. Yeah. Covering your forehead up to the nose tip and up to here. Again I do it. That is enough. Then from the wrist, after having removed all those rings or bangles or whatever you have, from the wrist goes right hand first and then left. And this tayammum is ready. And it is the easiest way of falling within time because it doesn't take longer. And according to Ayatullah Khoury, you don't require a second striking even if tayammum is for ghusl. Once having struck is enough. This is wajib. I say this because we cannot play about with roza. If a man has got fear of God and knows that he is answerable and accountable to his deeds tomorrow, we must know that if we are not going to do according to what he has told us, there will be a kafara and no waris. No waris. There are waris who will at least pay for qaza namaz. No waris is going to pay for kafaras, because that is the most difficult part in one's life. Please do not let us enter into kafara for deliberately breaking the fast. Even ghusl janabat, if one rises and finds that there is no time, he slept, and now only 5 minutes are left, he will do tayammum. And badla ghusl here, after having done tayammum, he will fast. Fasting will be valid. This is necessary to say. The rest masail are many. I will continue inshallah ta'ala. The subject that we have been discussing, which is very important now, within 15 minutes I would like to complete it, if I can, is what I said last time about having understood that what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills is done. What He wills is done. Mashiach of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we must be clear in our minds that whatever happens in our life happens according to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whether one likes it, does not like it, whether one believes in it, does not believe in it. There is an unseen hand which guides the destiny of all of us. The only thing required of a Muslim is that he should have that faith that I have reposed my destiny in the hand of one who is not only merciful but is also wise. You don't know perhaps how many people, ladies and gents, in the Ummah of Islam, Shia and non-Shia, are today suffering from nervous tension and breakdown. How many? Numberless people. Only those will know to whom reference is being made. And I only say this because when things are referred, we naturally like to tell the person to talk about what he has got. What is the problem? And we find that the problem is common. There is no one here sitting who will say that my problem is peculiar, although everyone likes to feel that his problem is the most acute, but the problem is naturally common. All of us have nearly same problems. But someone comes and he is trying to prove to me that now he is breaking under the stress. Why is he breaking under the stress? After having gone deep into it and made a profound study, we came to a conclusion that what is missing is faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very important. Why have we lost sabr? Why? Why have we lost patience? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to forbear, to be patient. Inshallah ta'ala, as you exercise sabr and patience, things will unfold themselves. And Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah wa salam alayhi, he said in Najr Balagha something which is so apt. He said, if one becomes uneasy in sabr, then in shouting and crying he will become all the more uneasy. Naturally. Sabr is somewhere where you collect yourself, compose. And the Prophet himself at the end, after 23 years of the problems that he faced, Quran says, أَلَمْ نَشْرَحْ لَكَ صَدْرَكَ وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ الَّذِي أَنْقَضَ ظَهْرَكَ وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. At the end, this is when everything is over, when the whole Arabia and beyond have become Muslims. Delegations after delegations coming to the Prophet, swearing oath of allegiance on his hand, accepting Islam. After all the problems and trouble and pains, the surah says, Alam nashrah laka sadrak, O Prophet, have we now not opened up your heart? Alam nashrah laka sadrak, wa wada'na anka wizrak, and we have removed that burden from your back. What burden? Alladhi anqadha dhahrak, such a burden which had actually bent you down. Such a heavy burden. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ, and now we have raised and elevated your name and your memory. And then there is a theory. Sometimes there are theories in Quran which must be compiled in a separate book. Only ulama have got to sit down and compile. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. O Muhammad, tell them all. After every adversity there are easy days. After every adversity there is a good day. After every, as they say, cloud has a silver lining. So at the end of the tunnel there is light. Inna ma'al usri yusra. This is what the Prophet was told. We have lost patience altogether. When we were young, we used to read one small lesson. There was a rabbit, upon his head fell one small seed from the heaven, somewhere, not from the sky, but maybe the rabbit was just sitting somewhere in the tree, and a small fruit fell on the head. And you know what he said? Dodo dodo akash tuti pedu. Means run, all of you, because the heaven has fallen onto my head. It was a small fruit, but he felt that it was the whole sky which has fell over. We are nowadays living in this sort of environment where small adversity, bhago bhago, akash tuti padu. You see, we have lost that patience to say, wait, inna ma'al usri yusra. For every adversity, there is something behind it which is called maslaha. And wait. There was a lady who came to Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, and said, in those days, of course, traveling was difficult, communication was also a problem. She said, my son has left for business for the last 1 year and has not come. There is no letter, there is no news. Yabna Rasulullah, pray for his safe return. Imam alayhi salam said, inshallah, he will return, inshallah. You go home, you pray, because the prayer of mother for her children and the prayer of father for his son, Allah never returns back. Fine, she went and she prayed. 4 months elapsed and she came after 4 months. Said, Ibn Rasulullah, the boy has not turned up and there is no news. Said, wait, he will come. You go. She went. After 2 months, she came back and said, Ibn Rasulullah, the boy has not come. Every time you are telling me to go home, I go. Having heard from you, I draw some solace from your word. But the boy has not turned up. I am the mother. Ibn Rasulullah, what has happened to him? And she started weeping and crying. Said, now I cannot wait for a day. Imam alayhi salam said, you go home and he will come tomorrow. And next morning, the boy came, knocked the door and entered the house. And she was so delighted. She came to the Imam and said, Ibn Rasulullah, the boy has come. How did you come to know? He said, in this there was no miracle, O mother. In this, there was no miracle. It is Sabr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a test for everyone. This is a link. When the link, even today, you take any link, any chain, when it becomes very tight, it breaks. Imam al-Islam says. When the link becomes extremely tight, it breaks. When the sabr reaches its brim, then it overflows. Since you said last night that I cannot tolerate, I told you, inshallah, faraj is near. You go home and you got your son. Let people understand that when some people come and say, Mullah Sahab, anya sudi pochi gyu. On the very second day that they see musibah, they say, I have reached here. It has not even reached here still. It has got to go up and up yet. But on the very first day, anya sudi avi gyu means what? Means I am not prepared to tolerate. That is not the way we should live. We must try to see that there is some sabr. That is one thing. Second thing is that we have forgotten one thing in our lives. This is for young people also to understand. That whatever we get from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my friends, is not by way of return of our deeds. It is by way of grace. Allahu Akbar. Many people believe that because I have prayed 2 rakat namaz, therefore Allah has given me. What sort of namaz was it? Allahu Akbar. That ration bill I have forgotten. Yes. Qira'at, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Oh, what will I answer my wife? I haven't brought the fish.